Let's start by focusing on the A section. Let me play it for you. I'm going to put the play along track on here. Now what I did is I created a play along track of each section. This is with the drums and the bass. And so we'll say A section, B section, C section. And basically it goes for, I don't know, maybe about 3-4 minutes. Plenty of time that you can really get into it and practice several times. And it's at 68 beats per minute, so it's a little bit slower than we'd probably normally play it. Anyway, it's going to start with one measure of the drums. And then that's where it comes in, okay? So I'm just going to rewind this. 2, 3, here we go. All right, so let's start by talking about what the chords are, and let me teach you the chords first of all. So E flat major 7. I'm not going to worry about the left hand for right now. Let's just focus on the right hand. See, I have the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, and the 9th. G, B flat, D, and F. Okay. Then I go to this G7. I wrote it in just as a G7. Okay, you could see that it really isn't augmented, so I could put a G plus 7 in there. But really, I'm thinking that you could do like an altered sound if you wanted and put the sharp 9 in there along with the flat 13. But anyway, what I have here is 7, the 7th, which is F, the 3rd, which is B, and then the sharp 5 or flat 13, depending on how you want to look at it, which is the D sharp. If I was just playing G7 without anything else, like without any 9th in there, and it was just this, just that D sharp, I'd probably say a G plus 7, which would mean a G augmented 7th. Often, though, the augmented wants to resolve up to the 3rd of the next chord, which would be, if we wanted to normally resolve G, it would normally resolve to C. So the augmented would resolve up to the 3rd of the C. But in this case, we're just moving right on up in that augmented note, that augmented 5th there, the D sharp, is now becoming the 5th of the A flat. And when we go to the A flat, this is actually pretty simple. We have A flat, C, and E flat, which is obviously our major triad for A flat. But then with my thumb, I'm putting in that G, which is the major 7th. But listen to how that inversion of the major 7th chord changes the sound so much. Really, it's just the 3rd inversion of that major 7 chord. And then we go up to that B flat 7 chord with the flat and 9th. Now, it says B flat 7, sus 4, flat 9. So that means that we have the 7th, which is A flat, the flat 9, which is C flat, the sus 4, which is E flat, and then the 13th, which is G. I could have also done an F in there too. That's a nice sound. See how sometimes I do that grace note, the B flat to the B natural? So maybe, the second time through, to the F instead of the G. The G adds a little bit more bite to it. Now let's talk about what's going on harmonically. Why did I choose these chords? Well, first of all, I wanted to choose a major 7th chord to start with, because a lot of times when you're getting into like funky stuff, there's a lot of minor sounds. So I figured it would be nice to kind of have more of a major tonality. It still has these blues, these minor notes built into it, but it's more of a major sound. So E flat major 7, there's your 1 chord. We're in the key of E flat. The G7 is a dominant. A lot of times we'll have this, 1 chord over the 3rd. Okay, so here I would go E flat, then I go E flat over G, and then go up to the A flat. That's kind of a traditional, it's not just gospel, jazz. It's a traditional harmonic function. It's a traditional chord progression. Okay, so it's E flat over G, going to A flat. I wanted to change that a little bit, so I made that G a dominant 7th chord, which adds a little bit more bite to it. And obviously the B flat 7 is our 5 chord, but to make it a little bit, a little jazzier, okay, I added in that flat 9 and then created a sus 4. So notice I'm doing the flat 9 without the third. I'm not using the third. It's not like a dominant 7th chord with a major third and a flatted 9th. Instead, I'm doing that sus4 with a flatted 9. Why sus4? Well, personally, I like that sound, and it gives it that nice kind of chordal kind of sound, and that like nice modern jazz kind of sound. Now let's talk about the bass line. This groove is very much, it's very much a starting place. I mean, you could do a lot of different stuff with this groove and use it as a building block.